Well, hola, Antonio.
Hola, Alan. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Especially because I'm talking to you. It's been so long.
Yeah, indeed. It's been too long, and somehow, due to the various situation of the COVID and other stuff that happens, we let our conversation go by. But we're here, so that's the important thing now, and I'm very happy to be here with you.
Wait,
So,
there's a virus? I thought the
well,
president made it go away.
yeah, me too. I had thought that originally. That sort of weird orange creature, right? You mean that person whom I shall not name,
Nope.
and no,
El the orange chupacabra.
yeah, the chupacabras. That you remember that comic book that you bought here about the
Yes.
chupacabras? You still have it.
No, I
Mm.
actually I mailed it to Jim. I
You
think.
don't tell me. How lucky is that guy? Wow.
I know, but I used it for a while as a theme. I guess I had the idea of turning all my slacktivist art into sort of like a publication, but I think I was the only one fascinated by it.
Yeah, well, talking about him, I still have a little box of VHS movies that I meant to mail him. I don't even remember where they are because they were in my office, ready, almost ready to mail, but I changed office twice by now, and it must be in some box within another box. So I hope to reopen that couple of boxes soon, perhaps in January, and
Well,
mail those.
I think I saw either in his blog that he's coming to the States, so you could maybe
Yeah,
mail it to the Reclaim headquarters.
well, no, I can't do that because, let me tell you the story. I had changed office around February, and then the COVID came, so I just closed the door and went
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Now
Uh,
everything was in its place because I had the time between January and February to place all the books, all the files in their drawers, etc. Then the COVID came, and then the emergency sort of ended around July, and they asked me to move that office to a new space together with other faculty. Imagine how happy I was. But at least I was in the same boat together with a lot of people. So I had to pack everything back again, and and imagine I didn't do that with with care. So I simply put everything in a rush inside boxes that they provided me, and then they moved everything into another office. And now it's everything in the new office. So I need to go there sometime later in the semester and unpack everything again. So, I don't have any hurry. So I think that the movies will wait a little bit more because they're there somewhere. But yeah, Jim will be
they
there.
have
In fact,
waited this. They've they've waited this long, right?
yeah, they waited this long, and I doubt they will erase themselves unless a strong magnetic field. Well, I mean, all the things that are happening on this planet, I mean, that could happen too, because I mean, I have an anthology of a compilation of sci-fi movies going on since January of this year.
Hmm.
So I mean, the fires in California are really from a doomsday movie of the 70s or 80s. I don't know. Godzilla,
Of
it seems
course.
to me. Yeah, and
Yeah.
uh, and not to talk about hurricanes and earthquakes here. We've had almost everything since the times of Maria, so it, it really a gigantic wave of electromagnetic fields may suddenly, hit our
I,
regions at
I,
this
I would not
point.
be I would not be surprised. Yesterday, I forgot it. I noticed in the morning, but then it made sense. Our skies are hazy, so here in the middle of
They are.
Canada, yeah,
Oh
we're getting the smoke from the Pacific, and it's supposed to get. I think they see it in Ontario now.
my
And
goodness. Well,
last night, that yeah, last night when Corey and I were doing our walk, we were laughing. It's like, okay, there's pandemics, there's fires, there's politics. What's next? And then we both agreed it was aliens. Aliens are coming,
well, at least
like
with
space
aliens,
aliens. Yeah,
but
yeah.
we have a chance that they may be benevolent towards us. We have that chance. So let hope that the aliens will be like Spielberg imagined in some way. So
I don't know.
I
I think they're like cruising in. They're decelerating around Jupiter, and they're starting to monitor the planet. And they're like,
yeah.
"Whoa,
Well,
this place is messed up. Let's go somewhere else."
exactly. Probably they're ignoring us. You know that there is some famous astrophysicist or astronomer who, I mean, he's a real name in that field, and he's um, advocating the idea that some alien spacecraft has almost just passed by our planet, and because some sort of measurements were off scale for
Oh,
some time. So he, like the other crazy idea that we might have a black hole at the end of our solar system. I don't know if you heard about it. It's another crazy idea. It might be true, but it's very unlikely though. So
I
anyhow,
I
it's
I know who we should send there to explore it.
yeah. The point is that there's no exploration there. Once you're close
Yeah,
there, it's end of communications. So it would be
I know,
a
but
very good ending.
there's a certain person who needs to go there, right? Who shall not
Yeah,
be
yeah,
named.
definitely. I mean,
Anyhow,
I'm a strong opponent to the death penalty, but they're really trying me hardly on that area. My
listen,
convictions are really put to trial this time. Yeah.
listen to that. So tell me what's I haven't even kept up. Are you completely online at Sagrado
Yes.
now?
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
Sagrado has adopted the sort of five modalities that range from fully online to semi face to face. So we have my modalities in this current semester is fully online. Well, actually, it's called hybrid flexible, but it's fully online. Actually,
Hmm.
I have once a week video conferencing kind of meeting with students, and then to comply with state regulation and middle state regulation that we have 45 hours in a 3 credit class. So I have a number of activities that I simply impose. I'm joking here. I'm sharing with students, and that they can do them in some asynchronous way. Now I'm that my modality, but at Sagrado they have other courses that meet on campus at least once a week for small groups. So they divide the full group in 2 or 3 segments, and then in rotation, each segment meet on campus. For instance, Sonia, my filmmaker friend, she goes on campus weekly because she has her student take some equipment and use it and learn how to use cameras and lenses and everything. So they need to meet there. It would be impossible to do else. in another way. So we have a sort of a mix. The library is open, but on appointment only,
Mhm.
and the dorms are closed. So there's no campus life, and of course students miss that. I talk to them often about this theme, and they tell me that they do miss the
Yeah,
life on campus.
I was curious to hear what your students are saying about their experience now, and how they feel about the education they're getting, and what they anticipate, or what I mean, just what are you hearing from your students?
Well, I have to say that I hear good stuff. My students have, at least the cohort of students I have now, and the cohort I had in between March and May. They're very bright um, young people, and they almost always have a smile in their face. There's something that has to be said about the people here, as you know, that they're very self reliant, in the sense that they have been used to rely only on themselves, because, I mean, the government probably is non existent at this point. So they have that sort of optimism that is given them by their endurance, by their strength, and by their families and personal networks. So, and I think that I'm pretty confident we'll have a nice semester. We just spent 1 month of classes, and so we have a long way to go. And I also hope to to have a number of activities that we can improvise a little bit on, all together in groups, projects, and other stuff that they can do some research on, etc. For instance, there's this movie that came out on Netflix recently, The Social Dilemma, I think, and it's a documentary on the effects of social media and the Cambridge Analytica and Facebook stuff. So it's a good. I haven't yet. Oh, lost connection. Wait a second, Alan. I think I'm keeping the recording. Oh, sorry, Alan. I just disconnected for 10 seconds or so, and the problem was precisely because of the repeater. So
Oh,
I got attached to the extra frequencies, and somehow they went below a certain minimum, and so my connection went off for a few seconds. I'm sorry. So I didn't hear you basically.
that's okay. You were dropping out, and I was trying to go, and I actually don't even know what's going to happen to the audio files. They might be completely out of sync right now. So our, our plan to make this like simple recording has just gone out the window.
Well, let's tell the thousands of people who are listening to us currently that we are trying out this Zencastr system that records the various tracks independently, and so we shall investigate how then the tracks are remixed together, hoping that will be easy.
Yeah, it works out really well. I saw this a couple audio things I did with Terry Green,
Oh,
who's in
Terry,
my
yeah.
yeah, and so he uses this for his productions, and I'm starting a new podcast. Some of my projects with Open Education Global, and for those we often have 3 or 4 people, and so I thought I'd give it a try, and it's been working great because um, people don't have to log into anything. they just show up and we start recording, and then
That's beautiful.
um,
Great.
and then the files I have synced to my Dropbox, so I just check back and actually they show
Mm.
up pretty quickly, and I get a separate audio file for each speaker. I'm really
Yeah.
liking what this does for doing the recording.
And
But we're
then
going to
you
give it a
you
test here.
and you host the recordings in your Dropbox.
No,
Yeah.
I copy them over, and then I do edit them in Audacity because I like to mix in the music.
Okay, and then you host them where in the same Amazon AWS space.
No, the project I'm working on, the guy who runs the infrastructure doesn't see a problem with it, and um, I think that whole thing about like WordPress being problematic is only if like you get like viewers that are even more than ours.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a serious situation for the storage of the audio files. Um, but I'm glad it was worth it to learn how to do the Amazon Cloud thing for our podcast, even if you were costing me like 25 cents a month.
Yes, I understand the financial burden is getting
It's severe.
heavier and heavier every month, and hopefully will grow heavier still.
Well,
But
I think we're going to need some major sponsorships. So I'm
yeah,
trying to line us up for some really good surveillance technologies. So
right, that could be a great idea. Val. Actually, we have to try
yeah,
it. Face reconnaissance. Have you heard of that?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the whole, we need to be, while we're doing a podcast, we need to be capturing your video to make sure your expressions are genuine and authentic, and that you're not
Exactly.
cheating in the podcast.
Exactly. I mean, oh, well, let's not get into that, but a lot of people are enraged currently at all this artificial proctoring technology, and that's really unnerving.
It
And
is.
yeah, yeah, it's sort of bad. But, I mean, I like AI. I began my studies with it. So I'm sort of very much connected to that area. And but lately there's been a spin out of almost control in some areas of AI. I don't subscribe to the hawking position that it may be dangerous because the androids will conquer us, because that's very, very, very far. But we have already been conquered by that sort of technology that came out of a certain way of life, a philosophy from Silicon Valley and other
Mhm.
places actually. So the battle is almost lost already, except for a couple of outlaws that still keep on believing in the power of the nets. But
Yeah, people who do this crazy syndication stuff and
yeah, indeed. I
run their own
mean,
websites. Like, what are they thinking?
blogging. What are they thinking? I
Oh,
don't know,
that's
right?
never going to catch on.
It's the 90s. I
Yeah.
mean, so what are
It's
they thinking,
it's just
really?
a bunch of people making diaries.
Exactly. Diaries. Who reads diaries today? I mean,
Not
come on.
me. I
Not me
certainly don't want to
either.
write. I don't want to write one either. What do I want to be
Yeah.
writing a diary?
Why? Why? Every day? Well, I will never reach that how you call it, that commitment that you guys have. But that's
You do
another
fine.
story.
You do
Yeah,
fine,
I love it. And talking about classes, with classes, I end up doing at least 2 posts a week,
Yeah.
every week. Plus, I'm doing a Mike Wesh idea of recording every week a sort of audio summary of the week, etc. So I love doing that. I dedicate all my Fridays and Saturdays, at least a part of that, to doing that. So I post for each class. Unfortunately, the posts are similar, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. But I do that, and I do the audio file, a sort of a podcast, but not really that integrated with RSS and that and all that. So and I hope students like it. And I was telling you about the movie that I want to share with students. So we will use one of these add-on with Firefox and watch the movie all together one Friday or one Saturday. I don't know yet.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I hope that works. So tell me about your yard. You've been working a lot during the summer. You have a lot of things that you built, no?
Summer's over.
Yeah, summer's over. Yes.
It changed your cooking. Yeah, we cleared a big area out of the front. My wife and stepdaughter. We did all the labor. Well, we had some of my wife's students help with removing some sod, and so we put down a brick patio to have a seating area out in front because we have nice sunset views, and we have some bricks that came from one of Corey's students who has a farm gave us some old bricks. And then we found an antique place that had these bricks that were like over 100 years old. So it's got a very rustic look to it.
Nice.
And then we just cleared a wide area to have sort of a natural vegetation area instead of suburban grass. So we've got prairie grass and wildflowers and roses. And we go out to the field across the street from us and we dig up sagebrush and cactus. There's cactus here.
Beautiful. Wow.
So yeah, we did that. Early in the spring, I built 2 garden boxes. So I had vegetable gardens, which are now gone because of the first frost.
Sure.
But we got a lot of herbs out of there, and one monster squash plant which took over everything.
Great.
And then just we have a lot of wildflower areas, so we've planted a lot of trees. We want to have turn it into a little forest in our backyard.
I love your flower photos that you share on Instagram.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, flower and other stuff, but the flower particularly, they're always very nice. And I'm amazed at the variety that you have. Well, why am I amazed? I mean, nature is amazing on its own. So, but still, it's beautiful. I love that. And I don't know if it's the algorithms or it's whatever, but as soon as I open Instagram, I do that every night before going to sleep and before reading some narrow books or I open that, and the first thing it comes out is always a photo of yours. So that's pleasant because they're usually beautiful photos. But
Well,
let
thank you.
me, yeah, let me, since we're already more or less going over the 20 minutes mark, let me tell you something about this thing that you posted on Twitter. One a day until the day I die. That's wonderful.
I know.
That really struck me. What is that, Alan? Tell us.
I actually, for some reason, I saw it come up. I don't usually look at my general timeline, but sometimes I do. And I guess for some reason, I was following this account, and so but I never looked at it. Well, whoever got there, I clicked on a tweet. So apparently, the person who creates it's a software developer, and in 2005, I guess he started this thing of writing every day 100-word story. And somewhere early on, he decided he would record it in audio, and he's been doing it every day since then. I think the funny part was he described in the beginning that a bunch of people did this challenge that they would do it. And then it was called the 100-Day Les Nessman Challenge. There's a reference to the old show WKRP in Cincinnati. And so the first person who like missed a day, the punishment was they'd have to write a story about Les Nessman. I'm not sure I understand it, but um, anyhow, this person's been doing it since 2005, and he's just said like, I said I was going to do this one day until I die, and I'm not dead.
That's beautiful indeed. That is such a beautiful idea. I mean, it's pure blogging
Yeah,
at its extreme consequences in a way, right?
yeah,
And yeah,
and
I love these initiatives.
yeah, and I think he does a weekly challenge, so I think other people like pick up his challenge, and so I mean, yeah, you should be able to write 100 words a day. I mean, we probably write many more words a day in that if you combine all the time we spend writing emails and social media. Um, but you know, you make this dedication and you do it in a domain of your own, and it's your thing,
Sure.
and so yeah, he says he's got the longest daily podcast going on the internet. He challenges anyone to prove otherwise. He's got a great sense of humor, like very sarcastic, and so I just enjoyed. Um, and I think you know this, but it's probably the best thing that happens is when you just, for some reason, you click a link or you just
Oh,
look at something you just don't know why, but you just say, "I'm going to look at this," and then you just find some magical gem of unexpectedness. Um,
exactly.
and it
That,
just
that, that you have that wonderful word in the English language that has no equivalent, neither in Spanish nor Italian. It's serendipity. I think
ah
it's really beautiful, and it I think at least from I'm not a mother speaker, but I think it conveys the idea that you're talking about, right?
yes, yes, yeah. In fact, I think I have a tag on my blog called Web Serendipity. So
Ah,
there's no word in Italian or Spanish that really captures that essence. Interesting.
not that I know of. You can construct perhaps something with a couple of words, but I'm not aware of such a synthetic way of expressing that idea. And it's a very powerful thing that the networks and the it's a sort of like an emergent property of networks that we all have been sharing, and we sometimes we don't realize that, and but it's very powerful. I think I
Well,
love it.
I it's what I live for. Well, that's not what I live for.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's the thing that keeps me going because
Yes,
it
yes,
continues to happen despite as bad as people say the internet is for disinformation and how toxic and trash fire
yeah.
that Twitter and other social media are. Um, that I think, as always, we forget that underneath all that garbage is
Yeah,
some good
that,
soil.
I mean, and what else can be the internet uh, more or less than the garbage that's already in the atomic world? So I don't want to say to use the rhetoric that the internet is a mirror because it's not necessarily so, but everything human somehow has those two components, and those are on the internet too. And we don't have a key on how to read that, and that's the big issue. Yet we haven't developed the needed skills to navigate the web and to, I think, at least what I see the usefulness of the courses I do, and I don't want to sound arrogant there, but I believe these kind of courses are pretty much needed for students to get a grasp of the digital world and to see its two faces and its two major components, no, the good stuff and the less good stuff.
And you're talking my language because I've always felt like that
I know.
you can't have everything good without the possibility for everything that's like the complete opposite of that.
Exactly.
And I still see and read people who seem to think there's a possibility to have one without the other.
Exactly. It would probably be a very weird world, one in which only the good happens. It would be very, very weird. Actually, in that case, we would need to define something not good to live and to appreciate what is good. So
Wasn't that the Truman Show?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Yeah. So listen, that the website for that, I promise, I or you will put that on written if it's the only thing that we write down. One day until the day I die.com is
Yeah.
the URL. So that could be something that is um, worth conserving and
Yes, yes.
sharing, right?
But we're not going to take like a ton of time to write up all the summary of the show.
No.
I'll take this one and I don't know what should be the challenge for the turnaround time to publish this.
Well, I don't know, Alan. In this case, I would like you to show me the way so that I can learn how to use this Zencastr, and from that, um, so I will do that on turns. So you
Yeah,
do this first, and then I do the second, etc. So the turnover can be quick.
yeah.
And
I will. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Basically, you create a free account so you can set up a session, um,
okay,
and you basically just create a space for a new recording. So that's why, and I gave it a name, and then that becomes the link that you share with me when you're ready to invite.
okay,
Um, I set my account up so it's synced with my Dropbox, so that's where the audio files end up. And I kind of I have an Audacity template that I've used for our shows that more or less has the intro music and the outro music, and
yeah,
I just slip in our audio in between, and
okay.
we're planning not to edit. Right, we're just going to leave all the flaws and the hiccups. Well, I don't know what will happen with that bit that dropped out. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, yeah, but I agree with that. Let's try not to edit, and then see what happens. I mean, I like to experiment like you.
I know
So
that.
yeah,
That's why I like hanging out with you, Antonio.
likewise. Uh, so listen, there was another stuff that I'm sure you know about, and I want to share anyhow for the masses that listen. And I just enrolled myself in this sort of seminar forum. I don't know how to call it. Why Technology Alone Can't Transform Education by Justin Reich.
Okay.
Failure to Disrupt is the book that he just published. And I think that there is Audrey Waters going there, and George Siemens too, among a bunch of people. Resnick from MIT, he's the one whose group sort of developed the computer language Scratch, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So I guess it just to say I'm sure we'll meet there. I hope you can. I don't
Yeah.
have now the dates for some reason. They don't
Yeah.
appear
I
here.
think it's set up like a online book club of some sorts. But yeah, that's quite a powerful series that Justin has lined up. I like Justin a lot. I worked with him on a yeah, I did a syndication project with him, and we did a couple
Oh,
workshops at the DML conference. And he's very thoughtful and he's smart, and he's really, a caring person. So I definitely support the work that he's doing.
Well, I just follow him and happen to see a retweet, I think, by Audrey or somebody else who
Yeah.
just said something about this. And I like the idea that beyond the book, there's also a sort of interactive event like the one he's, is organizing. So I hope I can participate. I registered. I have a very limited schedule because I haven't told you yet. I am also involved in a huge IT project through my company.
Wow.
So that's very interesting, and we are at the beginning moment. So it's very time consuming, and between my students and the regular work, etc., and that it's very very hectic, but very very interesting. And so I like to enjoy this opportunity too. So
Well, I think maybe we can save that topic for our next podcast, or maybe it's hush hush, but I'd certainly like to talk about it.
okay, sure, that would be great. Yeah,
Okay.
indeed.
Well, this is our 13th episode. So I have a question for you. Do you
Oh,
feel lucky?
go ahead.
Do you
Do I
feel
feel?
lucky?
Yeah, well, actually, I do.
Huh?
I that's a double-sided coin. Um, I'm always an optimist. I can't think differently, and that can be some good thing and some bad thing at times. But I feel lucky, and actually, I think I am by any objective measure. I am. So I'm very lucky to being able to work at this time of mess in the world, and to be healthy and to have a family and to have friends and to share with such great people I'm around with, and so I'm very lucky. I mean, I one of the things that we, as my wife and I, love about this situation is the fact that we are all together with our two daughters now at home, and it's very nice, even in the moments of tension that inevitably happen. But it's very nice to being able to share as adults because now they're adults. So it's an entirely new story, and that's another reason why I feel so fortunate, so lucky, indeed.
And well, first of all, I love it when you talk about effusively that you're an optimist, and I like and respect that, and I've had my optimism tested, as I'm sure you've had, and also I know what you're saying too, because the lockdown has also made it so my wife and I and her daughter came home after finishing her degree at UBC, and so she's with us, and she's starting her first year of grad school. But we wouldn't have had all this time together
Yeah,
without this thing going on. So we see the positives in that too, which is kind of the thing that helps you get through if you spend a little bit too much time doing the doom scrolling of the news.
yeah, that's true. I mean, the pandemics, of course, takes a toll, and even in an optimist, it does take a toll. And so, in a way, of course, family, the people that one loves are help, uh, even with the moments that, of course, we have less freedom, and we just finished the lockdown here, so we can move around more or
Mm.
less freely with a mask, with a face mask, etc. but we still are doing a lot of stuff inside our house. So it's something is beginning to worry me, because before, for instance, I used to walk every day. I went to university on foot and came back on foot, and I'm not doing that, and I'm spending the full day on at a chair and working on a table. So I move very little these days, and I need to step out of this pattern and really do something.
I
So
have I have seen though your Instagram pictures had some pictures of the beach.
yeah, indeed, I go there, but it's so close that it actually doesn't qualify as walking. So,
Yes, it does.
you see.
I know that walk, and I'm gonna say I'm very lucky because we happened to meet through colleagues, and then we had the opportunity to do some visits, and then I'm so lucky for that month that you set up for me to spend time with you
Oh, I'm
at
so
the beach
glad
in
we did.
Macerata. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did. It really was a wonderful time, and I hope some other opportunity comes along to repeat that in one way or the other. I would love that,
Well,
indeed. But you
as,
you do walk a lot with Corey, right? You do that every day.
yeah,
More.
we do the walks. Yeah, we have our walks every day, and we have a country road. That's a wonderful, beautiful walk, and it's very serene, and we get
Mm,
out for some of our hikes. So yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky there too. So
yeah, that's true.
we're lucky optimists.
We're lucky optimists, indeed. Yep.
Okay, I think we should wrap so I can maybe
Okay.
edit this and see if I can get this posted in 2 days.
Oh, that would be great. But I mean, don't take that pressure in. Simply, I mean, as it comes along, let's have this point of view of having a sort of uh, don't say fixed, but fixed frequency, more or less, that we can arrange for us. It's nice to converse, and the idea to record the conversation and to put them online is a great idea, I think.
Okay.
So,
Well, many, many thanks. Muchas gracias.
muchas gracias, Alan. Very,
Okay.
very.
Hola, Antonio.
Okay, so to the next one
To the next one, 14
and beyond.
and beyond. Cue the music.
All right. Bye bye, Alan.